Hello everyone, welcome to free crash course for competitive exams held by VIRAT Hindustan Sangham in association with Manifest IAS Bengaluru. This program is inspired by Dr. Subramanian Swamy and is convened by Sri Ravishankar Sir, State Education Convener for VHS Karnataka branch. I am the chief mentor of your program. I have been mentoring competitive exam aspirants for past 5 years. So we have dealt with the polity, history and economic part. So physical geography will end by max today or tomorrow, and we'll take up human geography and later on move towards the environmental section of your syllabus, right? So you can watch this program online on the YouTube channel of Virat Hindustan Sangham, and also you can join VHS Education Forum Telegram channel for any feedback, any doubts, any queries regarding any competitive exams. So we were in yesterday's class we were talking about the climate. Yesterday's class we were talking about the climate of India, and I told you that the climate of India is a monsoonal climate, hot monsoon type of climate, because if you look at the map of India, it is actually above the Tropic of Cancer. It is a temperate form of climate. Below Tropic of Cancer, it is a tropical climate, right? So when this is the case, there are lot of climate determining factors. I told you there are the location of a place, the relief of a place, everything determines the climate. The latitude, how far is it from the equator, that also determines the climate. Himalayas influence the climate, and land and water distribution, the land area and water area distribution, that will also influence the climate. Distance from the sea, that also influences the climate. So here if you look at the coastal areas of Mumbai, Chennai and Kerala, all these coastal areas if you look at, and Kolkata, it is moderated by the ocean. That is, if the area will neither get too hot nor gets too cold. So it has a moderate or average type of climate will be there. Whereas if you look at the interior parts, Delhi, Punjab, Haryana region, there it is actually there is no moderating effect. What is moderating effect? I told you, when the land gets too hot, the sea breeze from the ocean will blow into the land and reduce the temperature. Land gets too cold, the sea breeze will blow from the hot sea breeze will blow from the ocean and increase the temperature. So ocean has a moderating effect, whereas that moderating effect is not present in the Punjab, Haryana, Western Rajasthan as well as Delhi region. That is why there you will find an extreme type of climate. Extreme in the sense, in summer you will find very high temperature, in winter you will find very low temperature. So that is the distance from the sea determines the climate of the place, and also altitude. Next factor is altitude. So if a place is having lot of height, so like mountains, hills, there you will find very cold climate. If the place is at a mean sea level or at the sea level, there you will find a warm type of climate. So the higher you get, the temperature goes on reducing, right? Next you have the relief. Physiography of a place also determines the climate. For example, if you look at the Western Ghats, so on the windward side, that is from the ocean where the wind comes, there you have lot of rainfall, right? On the other hand, leeward side you will find very less rainfall, right? So if there is any mountain, if there is any plateau or desert, that will also influence the climate. So these are the climate determining factors of a particular region, right? So next we will talk about the air pressure and wind system in India, or air pressure and wind system over the geography of India, right? So if we look at the wind circulation, we have to look at the surface wind circulation as well as upper air circulation. That is at the surface level, at the ground level, what is the wind that is blowing. At the upper atmosphere level, what is the wind that is blowing. Both these things we have to look into. So at the upper air atmosphere, upper air circulation, we will find the jet stream. I will discuss what is a jet stream, and also you will find so first one is the surface air circulation, second is the upper air circulation. So these two things are the determines the air pressure and wind. So next, the cyclones from the western region. So what happens, you know the Mediterranean Sea, right? So from the Mediterranean Sea you will have cyclones coming into India during the winter season. So those cyclones will also determine the upper air circulation, that is air at the upper atmosphere. What is the circulation, that is determined by the cyclone as well, right? So this Mediterranean cyclones, they bring the tropical depressions, or they will bring cyclones from the Mediterranean region and put it in the northern India. So there is lot of rainfall in the northern India because of the cyclones from the Mediterranean region, right? So we will look into the weather mechanism of India during winter. During winter, what is the weather in India, right? So first we will look at the surface. At the surface level, what is the weather mechanism? What is the air pressure at the surface level? What is the wind system at the surface level, right? So in the winter season will during the months of November, December, January. So what happens there? You will have high pressure over the northern India. Why high pressure? Because see, here you have Himalayas. North of Himalayas you have very cold region, that is the Tibetan plateau will be having very cold temperature, and because of which the pressure will be higher. North of Himalayas, the pressure will be very high during the winter. So what happens? During the winter, what happens? This this cold air will cross the Himalayas. It won't cross straightly. It will cross from this side where the Himalaya ends and enter the India. So cold air enters the India from the north of Himalayas, right? So and it flows south. So it will come towards the northern India, cold air, right? So these winds actually, where does it originate? These high pressure winds, they originate in the Central Asian region, that is the Tibetan region. It is going to originate, right? So what happens? This cold air, it is cold, but it is not having moisture. So if it had any moisture, what would have it done? It would have brought rainfall to the northern India, right? So this is Himalaya. So but this cold air is not having any moisture. It is a dry continental air. Continental air mass means the air mass which originates over the continent, not on the oceans. So it is not having moisture, so it won't bring any rainfall. So what happens? This cold air mass, this clashes with the trade winds. So what is trade winds? So trade winds is your easterlies, northeast trade winds. So you take up the earth. So this is equator. You have Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn. So the winds that blow in this direction, these are trade winds. I have discussed the Hadley cell, Ferrel cell, polar cell. So there you will have the equator, Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn. So here these winds blow from the east, right, because of pressure variation. So these are the trade winds. So this continental air mass, the cold air mass clashes with the trade winds. So the air mass that is coming from north of Himalayas, this clashes with the trade wind in the northern Indian plains. So what happens when it clashes with the continental air mass from the north of Himalayas, there will be lot of changes in the northern India, right? So there will be very cold weather in the northern India, right? So this position of clash, where this continental air mass clashes with the trade winds, it is actually not stable. Sometimes the clashing point will be in the Rajasthan region. Sometimes the clashing point will be in the Uttar Pradesh region. This clashing point will be keep moving across the Ganga plains, right? So this entire region, the North Indian region will be in the winter, will be under the influence of northwestern winds. That is winds coming, crossing the Himalayas and coming into India. So the entire region will be under the influence of northwest winds. So this is about the surface, at the surface level, what happens. But what happens at the upper air circulation, that is at the, if this is the surface, at the upper atmosphere or lower troposphere, where the tropopause is there, that is where atmosphere ends. So where that is at the level of 12 to 13 kilometers from the surface, what is the air circulation. So at the higher atmosphere you will find a different pattern. Lower atmosphere you will find this Himalayan wind crossing from the Central Asia. At the upper atmosphere there is a totally different pattern. So at the upper atmosphere you won't find any surface winds. Surface winds will not have any effect on the upper atmosphere. So what happens? At the upper atmosphere you will find the westerly winds. I told you, from the Mediterranean region the winds blow to the northern India, Mediterranean Sea. From Mediterranean Sea it crosses this Caspian Sea, this Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, all this Central Asian region and comes to India, right? So when it comes to India, it blows as a westerly wind. What is a westerly wind? The wind which blows from the western region, that west of India. So this is the westerly jet stream. See, it is having a very high speed. It is at a level of 10 to 12 kilometers above the, or 9 to 13 kilometers above the surface of Earth, right? So this wind blows parallel to the Himalayas. If this is Himalayas, this will blow parallel to the Himalayas, right? So this jet stream which is blowing, actually what happens, it will come and clash with the Himalayas first. So one branch will move south of Himalayas, another branch will move north of Himalayas towards the Tibet. So the western jet stream, the westerly jet stream, it is actually divided into two branches. One goes north of Himalaya, the other comes south of Himalaya. This westerly jet stream also influences the winter climate in the Indian region. One is surface level, another is at the upper atmosphere level. Upper atmosphere level you will find the westerly jet stream, right? So this, not only this, in the winter time you will find cyclones. So cyclones actually which originate in the Bay of Bengal region here. So it is actually during the summer time. Whereas winter, the cyclones come from the Mediterranean Sea. From the Mediterranean Sea they come to India. So it is called as western cyclonic disturbances. Western cyclonic disturbances. Also, where does this cyclones originate? From the Mediterranean Sea it originates. So it comes in the time of winter only. The western cyclones comes in the time of winter only. They come from western direction or northwest of India. They come to India, right? So this cyclones will be there. Which air will push the cyclones into India? I told you, the westerly jet stream. This pushes the cyclone into India. So because of this jet stream, you will find the cyclones entering into the India. So when these cyclones come to India, what will be the weather changes that happens in India? So there is increase in temperature. First thing is, there is, during the night time the temperature increases and it will bring some rainfall in the northern Indian part. So this also happens during the winter region, right? This is western cyclonic disturbances. Next, during winter also you will find some tropical cyclones. So tropical cyclones that originate below the Tropic of Cancer. So where does it originate? It originates in the Bay of Bengal region. From the Bay of Bengal region, the cyclones come and clash this part. So always Odisha will be having one or the other cyclone. So it is highly destructive. It will destroy the houses, it will kill people, and it will damage the roads and everything. So the the tropical cyclones is the second one which comes in the month of winter, right? Okay, so this is about the western cyclonic disturbances and the tropical cyclones that comes in the month of winter. Next, we will talk about the mechanism of weather in the month of summer. So in the summer month, what happens? What will be the weather or the wind circulation or the air pattern in the month of summer, right? So first we will look at the surface pressure and winds. What is the pressure at the surface level, ground level, and winds during the month of summer? So what happens during the summer? The sun would be moving towards north. So sun would move up to Tropic of Cancer, right? So during summer solstice, or I would say during the month of June, sun will be exactly above the Tropic of Cancer, right? So ITCZ will be over the Tropic of Cancer. What happens? As soon as the sun comes over the Tropic of Cancer, the wind system. So what I told earlier, in the winter, one branch Central Asian wind will come to India at the surface level. Second is from the Mediterranean Sea, upper air will come into India. So this entire system will reverse. As soon as the sun comes here, this entire system, so this will also go back, this wind will also disappear. So this entire wind system will reverse at both lower level as well as upper atmosphere. At both the level, the wind system changes. So as soon as the sun comes to over the Tropic of Cancer, even the ITCZ, Intertropical Convergence Zone, where the air will converge and rise. So it is a zone of heat where the sun will directly fall on the ITCZ and the pressure is very low. When the pressure is very low, the wind will or the air will move up from bottom to upper atmosphere, right? So this ITCZ will be over the Tropic of Cancer. So what happens when ITCZ is at the Tropic of Cancer? There is a low pressure belt parallel to the Himalayas. Here it will be very low pressure between 20 degree to 25 degree north. Between 20 degree to 25 degree north, there is a very low pressure belt, right? So when this sun comes between 20 to 25 degrees Celsius, this westerly jet stream goes back. It goes back to its original, or it won't blow over the northern Indian region. So when the ITCZ moves over this region, when the sun is over this region, what happens? It is a zone of low pressure. When it is a zone of low pressure, it will attract the low pressure, attracts the wind from the high pressure, right? So it will attract the wind from the Indian Ocean. So from the Indian Ocean, the air flows into the ITCZ region, right? So what happens? So if you have equator here, from the equator, whatever the easterly wind is there, it crosses the equator and blows. So actually, see, here it is easterly. So the wind will be blowing like this below the equator, right? From the eastern region, trade wind. So once it crosses the equator, it will change its direction. Why does it change its direction? Because of Coriolis force. It will change the direction towards the north, and since this is a region of low pressure, so it will attract the winds into the low pressure region, right? So ITCZ attracts the wind from the southern hemisphere. So this, as it is moving towards the ITCZ, it will capture lot of moisture. Once it captures lot of moisture, it will bring rainfall. So this is the southwest monsoon we were talking about. The wind which blows from the southern hemisphere, it crosses the equator, comes from the westerly direction and brings lot of rainfall, southwesterly direction, and brings lot of rainfall over the Indian region. This is the southwest monsoon we are talking about. Where does this gather the moisture? It gathers the moisture in the Indian Ocean as it is moving over the Indian Ocean. So this is at the surface level. So what happens at the upper atmosphere level? At the upper atmosphere level, what is the direction of the wind. So at the upper atmosphere, you will find easterly jet stream. So in the winter, you will find westerly jet stream in the upper atmosphere. In the upper atmosphere during summer season, you will find the easterly jet stream. So the jet it is from 9 to 13 kilometers. The wind which is blowing from the east will be blowing over the Indian region. See, but the westerly will be blowing, westerly jet stream will be blowing somewhere here. Look at the position of easterly jet stream. It is much below. It is much below, right? So what happens? This easterly jet stream, what does it do? So this easterly jet stream, it steers the tropical depressions into India. That is the cyclones. Whatever the cyclones that originate in the summer season in the Bay of Bengal, that will be pushed over the Indian region because of the easterly jet stream. So easterly jet stream pushes the cyclones or the depressions over the Indian region, right? So this easterly jet stream, see, whatever in the summer at the surface level you will be having monsoon rainfall. So this easterly jet stream determines how the monsoon rainfall is distributed. So whether what regions will have more rainfall, what regions will be having less rainfall, everything will be determined by the easterly jet stream. So how the monsoon spreads over India is determined by the easterly jet stream. So this, which region will get the highest rainfall because of monsoons, which region will get the lowest rainfall, everything is determined by the easterly jet stream. So just the work of the southwest monsoon is to blow over India. So what determines the distribution? It is determined by the easterly jet stream, right? So the frequency of rainfall, the intensity of rainfall, everything, the rainfall pattern, everything is determined by the easterly jet stream, right? Okay. So this is about the surface level wind circulation and the upper atmosphere wind circulation during the month of summer. So when it comes to the month of summer, we have to discuss one important thing, that is the concept of ITCZ. So I have already discussed ITCZ. So this is a low pressure zone. It will be generally the ideal position of the ITCZ during the month of March and during the month of September is over the equator, whereas during June it will be over Tropic of Cancer, during the December it will be over Tropic of Capricorn, right? So this is a place where the trade winds converge. So the trade winds, whatever the winds come from the southern hemisphere and northern hemisphere, both of these will converge at the ITCZ, right? So once it converges, what happens? It will rise up. The air converges and rises up. That is why this is called as a monsoon trough. ITCZ over the Indian region is called as monsoon trough. Trough means where there is low pressure. Also there is the low temperature. So monsoon, sorry, no, not low temperature. There will be very low pressure. So this low pressure will attract the winds from the southern hemisphere, which causes the monsoon rainfall, right? So where will be this ITCZ? In the month of July, that is in the summer, or in the monsoon winter rainfall region, it will be rainfall season. It will be over the 20 to 25 degree north latitude. This ITCZ will be over 20 to 25 degree north latitude. So this is, and then since this ITCZ will be over 20 to 25 degree north latitude, what does it do? It brings the whatever the winds south of the equator, that will be attracted towards this ITCZ, and it will bring rainfall. So it will bring rainfall, right? So next, this ITCZ during the summer will be during here, but later on, once the summer starts weaning away, or once the summer ends, this ITCZ moves south. So when this low pressure zone moves south, what happens? Again there is a reversal of the wind system, and the winds which are blowing from southwest direction, later on the winds from the northeast direction will be attracted by the ITCZ. So during the month of November, December, so during the month of November, December, you have the northeast monsoon, that is southwest monsoon during June, July, August, September, whereas northeast monsoon during the month of November, December, because the ITCZ will be moving south. When it moves south, it will attract the winds from the northeast direction. So that is the concept of ITCZ and its impact on the rainfall over India, right? So this is all about the wind system during summer and winter at the surface level and at the upper atmospheric level, right? So normal, how does the monsoon set? So on the 1st June, it will be somewhere here. 5th June, so monsoon crosses over the Karnataka region. 10th June, it crosses over Maharashtra. 15th June, it crosses over Gujarat and UP region. And by 1st July, it will be over Rajasthan. So the monsoon slowly spreads over the Indian region, right? Okay. So next, so what is the nature? So monsoon, this monsoon is a very important factor in India's agriculture arena because 70% of India's agriculture depends on the monsoon. It is rain fed. So, but scientists have been doing lot of research over this monsoon, but till now, no satisfactory explanation about the monsoon has been found out till today, right? So, some say that this monsoon is related to southern oscillation. So what is southern oscillation? So you know the Pacific Ocean. If let's say this is the American boundary, this is the Asian boundary. So this is Pacific Ocean. The pressure difference between the Western Pacific and Eastern Pacific, this will cause a have an impact on the monsoon. Right? So it is said by some scientists that the pressure variation in the Pacific Ocean will have an impact over the monsoons, right? Okay. So next, onset of monsoon. So how does the monsoon start over India? So earlier, so about the how does monsoons start in the Indian region? Earlier it was said that it is because of differential heating. That is, the land gets heated up very fast and so ocean gets heated up very slowly. Because of this differential heating, the monsoon starts. Monsoon will appear over the Indian region was said in the earlier times, right? But later on the theory changes. So later on people have come across with various theories, right? So they say sun will be over the, earlier they used to say sun will be over the Tropic of Cancer, that is in this region sun will be there in the northern India. So this region will be having lot of heat. So because of lot of heat in the north in the Indian region, there will be very low pressure. Once there is low pressure, it attracts the monsoon wind. This was the theory earlier. And also not only heat here, the temperature over the Indian Ocean will be very low. So here it will be high, temperature is high, and over the Indian Ocean the temperature will be low. And because here the temperature is high, there will be low pressure. Over the Indian Ocean, since the temperature is low, it is having high pressure. So the wind blows from the high pressure to low pressure region. So this was a theory earlier told by the scientists, right? Okay. Next, we will talk about the El Nino and monsoon. How does the El Nino impacts the Indian monsoon? So I have already discussed what is El Nino. El Nino appears when there is in the Chile coast, that is South America, west of South America, Chile coast, when the warm ocean current appears over the western coast of the Chile, there will be what will happen on the western coast of Chile. If the warm current appears, it will have a impact on the monsoons over India, right? So this El Nino, it is appearing every 3 to 7 years. This El Nino comes every 3 to 7 years over the Indian region, right? So it will have an impact across the world, not only over India. This El Nino has an impact across the world. So this warm current which appears over the Chile region, it is a equatorial current that comes over the Peru region, because of which it will have an impact on the monsoons over the Indian region, right? So this El Nino distorts the atmospheric circulation. So the circulation over the Indian region, or the wind system over the atmosphere, that is distorted by the El Nino. So the evaporation of the water, the growth of vegetation, everything is distorted by the El Nino, right? So this El Nino appears during the Christmas. So this, when does this El Nino appear? It appears during the time of Christmas. That is why it is called as Child Christ. It is called as a Child Christ. So if the monsoon delays over the Indian region, if the monsoon appears fast, if it appears slow, so the delay of the monsoon or the onset of the monsoon over the Indian region is dependent on the El Nino, right? So next we will talk about the rain bearing system and rainfall distribution. How does the rainfall distributed over the Indian region, and what are the rain bearing systems over the Indian region? So first we have the Bay of Bengal region, that is Bay of Bengal rain bearing system, and then there is Arabian Sea rain bearing system, right? So Bay of Bengal system, it will have a, see, whatever the cyclones that is over the Bay of Bengal, it will move over the Indian land mass, and it will bring lot of rainfall over the Indian land mass. Next, one more is Arabian Sea. Arabian Sea system, it will bring rainfall over the Arabian Sea system will bring the rainfall over the western coast. So Bay of Bengal system brings the cyclones over the eastern coast, and Arabian Sea system brings the rainfall over the western coast. So this is the rainfall bearing system over the Indian landmass. So this rainfall, it declines from the west to east. So the rainfall, it is high over the western region and then decreases towards the east. So even during the monsoons, the monsoon rainfall, it is high over the western region. So western region will have very high rainfall. Eastern region will be having low rainfall. From the west to east, the rainfall decreases, and also from southeast to northwest, from the southeast region to the northwest region also, the rainfall decreases. So here the rainfall is high, here the rainfall is low, here the rainfall is high. This region the rainfall is high, and this region the rainfall is low, right? So next we will talk about the break in the monsoon. What is the break? So when does the monsoon break? So we have a continuous monsoon from June till September, right? So in the continuous monsoon, there are, in the middle there are dry spells. Dry spells means the monsoon will be breaking in the middle. So that dry spells is common. It is we will find this dry spell. So it's, let's say the monsoon starts in the month of June, and by the time of around August, some 15 days, the monsoon won't be there. So that particular time is called as a break in the monsoon. So why there is a break in the monsoon? Because see, when the winds blow over the Indian region, it will bring the rainfall. But when the wind blows parallel to the coast, so what happens when it blows parallel to the coast? There is no barrier. So here you have the barrier of the Western Ghats. When you have the barrier of the Western Ghats, there will be rainfall. But when there is no barrier of any mountain is not there, what happens? The wind will blow parallel to the coast. When it blows parallel to the coast, there is very less rainfall. Rainfall will be very less, right? So this is the, when the wind blows parallel to the coast, there is very less rainfall, that is called as, or there is a no rainfall at all, that particular thing is called as a break in the monsoon. Next, we will talk about the seasons of India. So this is about the monsoons. Next, we will talk about the seasons. Okay. So this is the temperature in January. In the January month, yeah, we will talk about it during the season. So India has 4 types of seasons. One is the cold weather season. Second is the hot weather season. Third is the southwest monsoon season. Fourth is the retreating monsoon season. There are 4 types of seasons in India. So these 4 types is generally witnessed in the witnessed in the northern India, but when it comes to southern India or the peninsular India, we won't find the 4 types of seasons. So in southern India, we will find just one season. So because why we won't find much of the seasons in the southern India? Because of the moderating effect. Because of the moderating effect of sea in the southern India, we won't find much climate or weather difference. So first we will talk about the cold weather season. Cold weather season. So when does it start? So it starts in the mid of November. Over India, it starts in the mid of November. So it is in the cold weather season, the temperature will be less than 21 degrees Celsius. It is less than 21 degrees Celsius. So the North India, in the North India, the temperature will be very cold in the northern Indian region. So why temperature will be very cold over northern India region? Because it is far away from the sea. So it will have experience a continental climate where there is less moderating effect of the sea. That will be found over the northern India, and also northern India will be cold because of the Himalayan snowfall. The snowfall which falls on the Himalayas, that will impact the cold weather in the northern India, and also there will be cold winds coming from the Caspian Sea. From the Caspian Sea, I told you, upper atmosphere, you will be having western jet stream. This jet stream brings the cold or the disturbance, that is the cyclonic disturbance from the Mediterranean Sea. So that will also bring the cold weather into the northern India. So because of which the temperature will be very cold over the northern Indian region. Whereas in the south I told you there is no cold weather region because of the proximity, because of the moderation effect of the sea. That is the first reason. The second reason is because of the proximity to equator. See, the peninsular part is close to equator. When it is close to equator, it will be moderate, or one is the moderation effect of the sea. Second is the equator is close to the southern Indian part, because of which this region will not be experiencing much cold, right? Next, what will be the pressure and temperature? What is the pressure and temperature over the Indian region during the time of winter? So the sun will be over Tropic of Capricorn. During the winter, the sun will be over Tropic of Capricorn. So what happens when sun is over Tropic of Capricorn, that is southern hemisphere, the temperature will be very low over the northern Indian plains. When it is very low over the northern Indian plains, temperature is low means pressure is high. Temperature is inversely proportional to pressure. So on the northern Indian region, the pressure will be very high. So what happens? Here the pressure will be very high, whereas the southern part or over the oceans or over the Indian Ocean, the pressure will be very low. So what happens? The winds, since here you will have high pressure, here low pressure, wind will start blowing from here high pressure to low pressure region, right? So this is also called as a northeast monsoon. So winds will start blowing from the North India towards the Indian Ocean. So here what happens? There will be, during the cold weather season, the North India will be, the South India will be having very pleasant weather. So Also during the winter season, you will find the cyclones moving from the Mediterranean Sea. So these cyclones will capture the moisture from the Caspian Sea and Persian Gulf, and they bring rainfall over the Indian region, right? So that is the northwestern Indian region. You will have lot of rainfall, right? So also you will have the westerly and northwesterly winds over the Ganga plain. So during the winter season, I told you the westerly jet stream will blow over the Ganga plain. So because of which there will be the westerly and northwesterly winds also brings lot of rainfall over the Ganga plain. And also you will have northeasterly wind, that is winds blowing from the northeast over the Bay of Bengal region, that will also bring some rainfall. So what is the rainfall pattern during the next we will talk about the rainy season. So what is the pressure and air difference during the rainy season? During the rainy season, what happens? It is the southwest monsoon. Southwest monsoons brings the rainfall over the Indian region, right? So that is during the from June to September. But during the month of November and December, you will have the northeastern winds blowing over the Indian region. So these winds will blow from the land to sea. From the land, it will blow over the sea. When it blows from land to sea, it will bring little rainfall. So these winds which blow from land to sea, since it is blowing over the land, what happens? There will be very little humidity. So when the wind blows from the ocean to land, the humidity is high. Whereas the wind blows from land to sea, the humidity is low. So because of which rainfall will be very less. So also in this, when the wind is blowing from land to sea, the pressure system will be very low. So there is very you will find anticyclonic circulation over the land. So one is the wind is blowing from land to sea, less humidity will be there, and also you will find anticyclonic circulation over the Indian landmass during the winter season, right? Next, but during this season, you will find one exception. The exception is you will find temperate cyclones. So you will find cyclones from the Mediterranean Sea blowing over the North Indian region, because of which you will find they will grow the rabi crops. During the winter season, rabi crops are grown because of the cyclonic rainfall over the North Indian region, right? So also this cyclonic disturbances from the Mediterranean Sea, they will bring snowfall over the Himalayas. Snowfall over the Himalayas is also brought about by the cyclonic disturbances from the Mediterranean Sea, right? Okay, so then the winds which blow from the northeast, they will bring the rainfall in the month of October and November in this region. That is, so you will find the Chennai floods. Chennai floods always happen during the month of October, November, December. Why? Because the northeast wind will bring the rainfall. That is, the northeast monsoons will bring the rainfall in the month of October and November over the Chennai region. So these winds will blow when they cross the Bay of Bengal. When they cross the Bay of Bengal, they will pick lot of moisture and bring rainfall over this region. That is the South Indian region. Next, we will talk about the hot weather season. So this is about the cold weather season. We will talk about so this is the pressure and surface winds. So this is how the temperature will be. Temperature will be very cold, and during the month of January, what is the pressure? I told you the pressure is very high. See here, you will be having lot of high pressure over the Indian Ocean. The pressure will be very low, because of which, see, there is a direction of wind shown here. So winds are blowing like this. From the northwest direction, they will start blowing towards the Indian Ocean during the month of January, that is the winter month. So next, the July month, that is the month of the hot weather season. What will be the rainfall distribution during the hot weather season? So during the hot weather season, the sun will be over the Tropic of Cancer in the month of July, right? So from March, sun will start marching towards start moving towards the Tropic of Cancer. So April, May and June are the hottest months over the North Indian region. So you will find temperature up to 40 degrees Celsius. You will find temperature up to 40 degrees Celsius in the North India, and even in the northwestern India, you will find temperature up to 48 degrees Celsius, up to 48 degrees Celsius. But in the southern peninsula, here you will have very mild temperature because of the moderating effect. Here the temperature will be around 26 degree to 32 degree Celsius in the southern peninsula, right? Okay, so what is the pressure and wind? So this is the temperature. What is the pressure and wind during the month of? So here you will have lot of high temperature. Here the temperature will be comparatively less. What is the pressure and surface wind during the month of July, that is hot weather season? So in the pressure and wind will be impacted by the air pressure. So falling air pressure over the North Indian region. So here tropic of ITCZ will be somewhere in around 20 to 25 degrees Celsius, because of which the air pressure will be low. When the air pressure is low, heat is very high in the North Indian region. So that ITCZ, whatever I told, it will be from this Thar region, from the Thar desert up to Chota Nagpur. So in the month of July, ITCZ will be around this position, right? When it is around this position, what happens? It attracts the surface circulation, that is the southwest monsoon. It will attract and it will bring the rainfall over the Indian region, right? So next, during the same time you will find from the northwest region, you will find certain local winds or the dry and hot winds blowing from the northwest direction during the month of July. So this hot and dry winds during the month of July are called in the month of summer are called as Lu winds. Lu winds are the local winds in the northern Indian plain, northern Indian region, right? So also you will find certain dust storms. Dust storms will blow over the North Indian region. So these dust storms will bring light rain over the North Indian region. Rain will be happening over the North Indian region. So not only the Lu wind, you will find certain local storms over the North Indian region. So these local storms will also bring certain rainfall. So what are the local storms over the Indian region? So first is the mango shower. So mango shower, you will find it over where? You will find it over the Kerala and Karnataka region. So before the monsoon, in the pre-monsoon region, you will find the pre-monsoon season, you will find the mango shower over the Kerala and Karnataka region. So what will this mango shower do? It will help the mango fruit to ripen very early. That is one thing. Then you have second is blossom shower. So this blossom shower will also come in the month of summer. What does it do? It will help the coffee plant to grow, coffee flower to ripen. That is the blossom shower. The third is the nor'westers. So nor'westers you will find over the Bengal and Assam region. So what is this nor'wester? So it is called as Kal Baisakhi over the Bengal region. So Kal Baisakhi, it is, see what is Baisakhi? It is similar to our Sankranti. What do? In the month of Baisakhi, they will harvest harvest their crops, Sugi, right? So that in the month of Baisakhi, if this rain comes, that is if the nor'wester comes, all the crops will be damaged. So that is why it is called as Kal Baisakhi, or calamity in the month of Baisakhi is called as Kal Baisakhi. In the Bengal region, in the Assam region, it is called as Bardoli Chira. In the Assam region, it is called as a Bardoli Chira, right? So next you will have the local wind. So this Lu will blow over the Punjab to Bihar. From Punjab region up to Bihar, this local wind Lu will blow. Next, this is about the hot weather season. Next we will talk of, so during the month of July, see the southwest monsoon, the surface wind is blowing from the oceans towards the land. So this is the wind pattern in the month of July, blowing from ocean to land. Next you have the southwest monsoon season. Southwest monsoon season or the rainy season. So what will happen in the rainy season? In the northern plain, the temperature will increase. Temperature will increase over the northern plain, and here in the northern plain you will find very low pressure. When the temperature increases, the pressure will be low. So what will happen? It will attract the winds. I have told you, attracting the trade winds. They gather moisture and suddenly the rainfall, the southwest monsoon will start over the Indian region. So when the monsoon hits over India, what happens? The temperature will fall suddenly. When the temperature falls suddenly, and the monsoon will burst suddenly over the Indian region, right? So the monsoon, it actually has an abrupt beginning. It won't start slowly. June 1st, it will have an abrupt beginning over the Indian region. So when we talk about the southwest monsoon, we have to look at two branches of the southwest monsoon. The first branch is the Arabian Sea branch. That is the branch of Arabian Sea of the monsoon. So whatever the wind that comes from the, if this is India, whatever the wind which comes from the southern hemisphere and crosses the equator and becomes a southwest monsoon, so it will get spread into, one will go towards the Arabian Sea, other will go towards the West Bengal. So two branches are there. So that is one branch will go towards the Arabian Sea, one branch of the wind, the other branch will go towards the Bay of Bengal. There are two branches. So within the Arabian Sea branch, so this branch is further divided into three sub branches. What are the three sub branches? So the first branch will fall over the Western Ghats. So over the Western Ghats. So here on the windward side of Western Ghats, it will have up to 400 centimeter of rainfall. Windward side, it will pour some 400 centimeter of rainfall. The second sub branch of the Arabian Sea, it goes north of Mumbai. So north of Mumbai, this second branch goes, and it will blow in the Narmada and Tapi valley between the Vindhya and Satpura. This second branch will go into the valley system. So you know that Narmada and Tapi flow in the Rift Valley system. So the second branch will go into the Rift Valley, and it goes up to Madhya Pradesh. So the second branch will go in the Rift Valley system, right? So this second branch, it goes to the central India and it merges with this Bay of Bengal branch. This Bay of Bengal branch of monsoon, it comes from this direction and it goes like this. So this second branch will go up to the central India and merge with the Bay of Bengal branch, right? So this goes up to this branch goes up to the Chota Nagpur plateau. So the third part of the third branch of the Arabian Sea is the Saurashtra, the branch which blows over the Gujarat region. That is Saurashtra Peninsula. This is the Saurashtra Peninsula. So Saurashtra Peninsula and Kutch region. The third branch blows over the Saurashtra Peninsula and Kutch region. So this where does this go? So if this is Aravallis, this branch, the third branch of the Arabian Sea, this blows parallel to the Aravalli mountains, parallel to the Aravalli mountains. So it goes up to the Punjab, Haryana and up to the western Himalayas, that is still here. So these are the three branches of the Arabian Sea branch of the monsoon. So next is the Bay of Bengal branch of the monsoon. So this Bay of Bengal branch, first it will hit the Myanmar coast. So first it will hit the Myanmar coast and some of it will hit the Bangladesh coast. So some part will hit the Bangladesh coast. The branch which hits the Myanmar coast, it is deflected by the Arakan Valley. So in the Myanmar you have the Arakan Valley. So this branch hits the Arakan Valley and turns towards India. And this branch also enters the Bengal region from the south and southeast direction. See, it goes and hits the Arakan Valley. It gets deflected from the south or southeast direction. It enters the Bangladesh and West Bengal region. Enters the Bengal region from south and southeast. So this branch will further get split into western branch and eastern branch. So one will blow towards the west, that is towards the Ganga plain. One will go towards the Ganga plain and the other will go towards the Brahmaputra. So the branch gets split into Ganga plain and Brahmaputra valley. So this branch will only bring the rainfall in the Mawsynrang, Meghalaya, Khasi, Garo, Jaintia hills. The same branch will bring the rainfall. So this Bay of Bengal branch will not bring any rainfall over the Tamil Nadu region. So the entire Tamil Nadu coast will remain dry. Why? Because see, the Bay of Bengal branch is blowing parallel to the Tamil Nadu region. Whereas Arabian Sea, what happens? The Arabian Sea branch, it will be stopped by the Western Ghats. So this Tamil Nadu coast lies in the rain shadow area. For the rain shadow area where there is no rainfall. For the Arabian Sea branch, this Tamil Nadu coast is in the rain shadow area. For the Bay of Bengal branch, it is lying parallel. So that is why there is no rainfall in the Tamil Nadu coast region. It remains dry. Okay. So what is the character? So this is about the monsoon in the Arabian Sea as well as Bay of Bengal. So what is the character of the monsoon? Before that we will discuss the pressure and winds. So it blows like this. One branch blows like this and the other branch will blow from here to here. So this is the direction and the direction of the wind system during the monsoons. So what is the character of the monsoon? So the rainfall. So where does the rainfall fall? We will discuss this. So what is the character of monsoon in India? It is seasonal. That is, rainfall is not permanent. It is seasonal and it is it varies from season to season. Second is, it depends on the topography. So topography means on the relief features. If there is mountain, there is high rainfall. If there is plain area, there is low rainfall. So that is why here you have high rainfall, here you have high rainfall because of the mountains. In the plain area, there is very low rainfall, right? Okay, so then it decreases from the sea. From the sea, here you will have from the closer to the sea, the monsoon will be having lot of rainfall. Away from the sea, the monsoon will be having very less rainfall, right? Then there will be this monsoon falls in spells. That is, there will be wet spells between the wet spells. There will be break in the monsoon. So there is a continuous rainfall from June till September, but in the continuous rainfall, in the middle there will be wet spell or the dry spells where there is a break in monsoon, right? That is a character of monsoons in India and 3, agriculture. So agriculture, 75% of the agriculture depends on the monsoon rain, and this monsoon rain is distributed unequally. It is not distributed equally over the Indian region. So this is about the monsoon. Next we will talk about the retreating monsoon. That is when the monsoon starts withdrawing from India. When does it start? It starts in the month of October and November. In the month of October and November, the monsoon will start retreating. So the monsoon trough, that is the ITCZ. ITCZ, what happens? It will start moving south. So with whom does the ITCZ start moving? It starts moving with the sun. So as the sun moves, the ITCZ or the ITCZ also called as the monsoon trough. So that will also start moving south, and by December, by the month of December, the entire ITCZ is out of the Indian peninsula. It won't be lying over the Indian peninsula. So when the monsoon is retreating, there will be having a contrast of climate over the Indian region. What is the climate when the monsoon is retreating? You will find clear skies. The skies will be very clear when the monsoon is retreating, and temperature will be very high. Temperature will be high, and humidity will also be high. Temperature will be high, humidity will be high, and skies will be clear. So that is when the monsoon is retreating from India. So because of which, because of the high temperature and high humidity, when the monsoon is retreating, in the month of October there will be lot of heat. So that is in the month after the monsoon starts withdrawing from India, the temperature will rise, because of which the heat will be very high. That is why it is called as, in the month of October we will find lot of temperature. That is why it is called as October heat. October heat in the month of October, when the monsoon withdraws, right? So then you will have this, because of the retreating monsoon, you will find lot of rainfall in the eastern region. That is, retreating monsoon will not bring rain in any part except the eastern part of the peninsula. This retreating monsoon will bring rainfall in the eastern part of peninsula, right? So this is about the monsoons in India. And so seasonal rainfall. So from June to September, where does the rainfall is high? So here, see the rainfall, wherever it is given dark, the rainfall is high. This region is having above 400 centimeter. This is the Meghalaya plateau, and this region, Western Ghats, is having from 200 to 400 centimeter. Then this region is having from 100 to 200 centimeter, even this region, and this place is having 60 to 100 centimeter. This Karnataka plateau is having very low rainfall, 20 to 40 centimeter, and Rajasthan, west of Rajasthan, cold desert of Ladakh will be having 0 to 20 centimeter of rainfall. So this is the rainfall distribution or the seasonal rainfall from June to September, right? And annual rainfall. So if you look at the overall annually, if you look at the rainfall, this region is having more than 200 centimeter of rainfall. Even here you will have more than 200 centimeter of rainfall. This region is having 100 to 200 centimeter of rainfall. Here it is 50 to 100 centimeter. So this region is having less than 50 centimeter of rainfall. So please you make understand the maps, right? So next we will talk. So this is the 4 season, that is cold weather season, hot weather season, and some your rainfall season. So these are the seasons mandated as per the Western standards. But if you look at the Indian seasons as per the tradition, Indian tradition. So from the month of March and April in India is called as Chaitra and Vaishakha. So it is, what is it called, this season? It is Chaitra and Vaishakha together is called as Vasanta season, Vasanta, right? The month of May and June is called as Jyeshtha and Ashadha. So that is called as, together called as Grishma season. Then the month of July and August, that is Shravana and Bhadra season, it is called as the Varsha season, that is when the rainfall is there. Then the month of September and October is called as Ashvina and Kartika. Ashvina and Kartika together they are called as a Sharada season. Then you have November and December, you have Margasira and Pausa. Margasira and Pausa together, November, December is called as a Hemanta Rutu, right? Then January and February is called as Megha and Palguna together called as a Shishira season, right? So, we were talking about the annual rainfall. So what is the annual distribution of rainfall over India? So the average rainfall over India is 125 centimeter. So rainfall is measured in centimeters. So the average rainfall over India is 125 centimeters. So this areas of rainfall can be classified into 4 areas. The first is the area of high rainfall areas. So what are the areas? One is the western coast, Meghalaya. In this region you will find more than 200 centimeter. Medium rainfall region, medium rainfall from 100 to 200 centimeter you will find in the Gujarat, Bihar, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Ganga plain. So here is the medium rainfall region, and you have low rainfall region. What is the low rainfall region? That is UP, Delhi, Haryana and Punjab and Jammu and Kashmir. So here you have the rainfall between 50 to 100 centimeter. Then you have areas of inadequate rainfall from what are the areas of inadequate rainfall? Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Rajasthan. So these are the areas of inadequate rainfall. So this is a region of inadequate rainfall, right? Okay. So what is the variability? Next we will talk about the variability of rainfall. So some areas are having less than 25% variability and some areas having more than 50% variability. That is, variability means, so one season, in 1 year the rainfall will be very high, and I mean the difference between from year to year. So 1 year the rainfall will be very high, other year the rainfall will be very low. So the variability of certain regions is less than 25 degrees Celsius, 25%. So in this areas the variability is less than 25%. Rainfall will vary less than 25%, whereas in certain other areas, that is this area, the rainfall will vary more than 50%. Okay, so next we will talk about the climatic regions of India, how the climate of India is divided. So the variability, see, here you will find more than 60% variability in rainfall. Here you will find less than 15% variability, that is change, right? So here you will find the 15 to 30% variability. So this is the variability map. Okay, so now we will talk about the climatic regions of India. So the entire climate of India is called as a monsoon type of climate, and there are various subtypes of climate. Subtypes of climate are dependent on temperature and rainfall. So how does the Indian monsoon type of climate is divided into various subtypes? It is divided on 2 parameters. One is the temperature, other is the rainfall, right? So this according to Koyappan scheme, we discussed the Koyappan scheme during our World Physical Geography. So Indian region is divided into 5 climatic regions. So the first is tropical region, that is where there is more than 18 degrees Celsius of temperature. So first is the tropical region where there will be more than 18 degree of temperature. which is a tropical region. See, this is a tropical region, tropical savanna type, tropical, which is having the equatorial climate or the tropical type of climate where there is the temperature is greater than 18 degree Celsius. Next you have dry climate. The second type of climate is dry climate. So this is dry climate, hot desert climate. So dry climate where there is less rain, and it is a region of arid and semi-arid region. That is, there is very less rainfall. Then you have warm temperate climate. So this is, where is warm temperate? Actually the entire region is warm temperate. Above the Tropic of Cancer, it is warm temperate climate. So next you have cool temperate climate, and the last one is ice climate. So these are the 5 types of division: tropical climate, dry climate, warm temperate climate, cool temperate climate, and ice climate. These are the 5 types of climate we will find in India according to the Köppen scheme. So in the warm temperate, so in the tropical climate, the temperature will always remain above 18 degrees Celsius. In the warm temperate climate, the temperature will be from 18 in the cold season. In the cold season of warm temperate, the temperature will be from 18 degrees Celsius, below 18 degrees Celsius, and above -3 degrees Celsius. So in the ice climate, the temperature is always less than 10 degrees Celsius. So they have this is the broad 5 types of climates in India. So we will divide. They have divided these 5 types into further 8 climatic regions. Totally 8 climatic regions they have divided into. So first is the monsoon with short dry season. So where do you monsoon season with short dry season? West coast of India, south of Goa. West coast of India is south of Goa is the monsoon type with short dry season. This is the first type of climate. Next with monsoon with dry summer. Where do you find monsoon with summer? There will be dryness. You will find it in the Tamil Nadu coast or the Coromandel coast of the Tamil Nadu. So this is monsoon with dry season in summer. That is the second type of climatic region. Third is the tropical savanna. Tropical savanna you will find peninsular plateau south of the Tropic of Cancer. South of Tropic of Cancer, you will find the tropical savanna climate. So we have discussed what is savanna in the word physical geography. Then you have the semi-arid steppe climate. So where semi-arid steppe climate, northwest Gujarat and some part of western Rajasthan and Punjab. So this is the steppe climate. What was it? Semi-arid steppe climate. Yeah. So this is the steppe climate. Semi-arid steppe climate, this region, that is Gujarat and Rajasthan region. Next you have hot desert season. Hot desert season, extreme west Rajasthan. This is the hot desert region. Next you have what? Monsoon with dry winter. So it is a monsoon season, but in the months of winter it will be dryness. This is Ganga Plain, northern Madhya Pradesh and northeast India. So this is the monsoon climate with dryness in the winter. So this is the 6th type of climate. It extends up to northeast India. Next you have the cold humid winter with short summer, Arunachal Pradesh. Cold humid winter and short summer. So winter it will be cold as well as humid, and summers will be very short. That you will find in the Arunachal Pradesh region. The last one is the polar type of climate or ice climate. You will find in the Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand. This is the polar type of climate. These are the types of 8 climatic regions in India. So how does the climate impact the economic life? How climate is related to India's economic life? So India, approximately 64% of Indians or 64% of Indians are dependent on agriculture. That is why so now it is around 55%. That is why the climate is very, very important for agriculture, and also it is important for the different types of crops that are being grown. So that there also the climate will have an impact. So certain type of climate, only that particular type of crops can be grown. So varieties of crops. So because of the variety of climate, variety of crops can be grown. So you have the hilly slopes, you will find the coffee and tea cultivation. The plain region where there is lot of water, you will find rice and sugarcane cultivation. So with the variety of seasons, variety of climate, variety of crops can be grown, and also climate will also impact the soil condition. It will impact the droughts and flood in a region, and also it will impact the rainfall. Climate will also impact the rainfall. So this is about the economic importance of the climate. There are various types of impact. So tourism, climate will have an impact. So for policy making, climate will have an impact. For research, climate will have an impact, right? So even if you want to launch a rocket, climate is very, very necessary. They will, even if you want to take off a aeroplane or a jet plane, climate is very, very important. Climatic condition or a weather condition is very, very important. Next, we will last topic of this chapter is global warming. That is the change in climate. So you will find lot of greenhouse gases. Because of the greenhouse gases, what are the greenhouse gases? The carbon dioxide, methane, chlorofluorocarbons, because of which the temperature is increasing, right? So that is even the ice cap, the polar ice caps over the earth, they are melting. And why did this climate change is taking place? It is taking place because of the industrialization. Because of industrial revolution, we are finding the climate to be changing. So what are the greenhouse gases? I have told you already. So they say that by the year 2100, that is 2100, climate is going to increase by 2 degrees Celsius. 2 degrees Celsius. That is why Paris Climate Deal has made a plan to reduce the increase in temperature below 1.5 degree Celsius, right? So because of the climate, there will be increasing sea level. Sea level is also rising because of the climate change, right? So this ends the chapter on the Indian climate. Next we will talk about the natural vegetation of India. Natural vegetation of India. So what is natural vegetation? First we will look into the definition of natural vegetation. So natural vegetation means a plant community which is left undisturbed. So you can plant and grow the plants in your garden as well, but natural vegetation means what? How is it different from the garden vegetation or the botanical vegetation? So in natural vegetation, the crops are grown on its own. It is not disturbed, right? It grows on its own. So India has a variety of natural vegetation. There are multiple types of natural vegetation. So what are the factors important for the natural vegetation? The climate of a place has an impact on the natural vegetation, and also soil of a place will also have an impact on the natural vegetation. So different types of soil will give rise to different type of natural vegetation. Different climate will give rise to different natural vegetation. So what are the types of the natural vegetation in India? So the first is the tropical evergreen and semi-evergreen forest. Tropical evergreen forest and semi-evergreen forest. So where do you find the tropical evergreen and semi-evergreen forest? You will find it in the Western Ghats, Northeast, as well as the Andaman and Nicobar. Western Ghats and Northeast, you will find the tropical evergreen and semi-evergreen forest. Then in this tropical evergreen and semi-evergreen forest, you will find rainfall over 200 centimeter, and this is further divided into warm tropical and this particular region, this tropical region will be having warm and humid climate. So there is lot of moisture in the air. There is lot of warmness in the air, right? So the average temperature of this region is 22 degrees Celsius is the average temperature of, or the temperature is more than 22 degrees Celsius in the tropical evergreen and semi-evergreen forest, right? So here in this region there is good stratification of trees. That is, if you look at the evergreen forest, so at the bottom level you will find some creepers or some shrubs, right? On the next level you will find some other higher trees. So at the highest level you will find the tallest trees. So there is good stratification of trees. I will show you the stratification in evergreen forest. See, this is basically the stratification. So here at the bottom level you will find shrub layer, shrub, and above it you will find some young trees, and above that you will find a canopy, and above that you have a emergent layer. So this is different layers of trees you will find in the evergreen and semi-evergreen forest, or evergreen and semi-evergreen forest, right? So these trees, the tallest trees are above 60 meters or above. So these trees in the evergreen and semi-evergreen forest, they are green throughout the year. So you will find greenness, green canopy throughout the year. They won't fall, the leaves won't be shed. The leaves won't be shed, and there will be greenness throughout the year. So what are the trees in the evergreen and semi-evergreen forest? You will find the rosewood, mahogany, ainey, and ebony. These are the trees in the evergreen forest. So wherever in this region, wherever there is less rainfall, some pockets will be having less rainfall. There you will find the semi-evergreen forest. Wherever there is less rainfall, there is semi-evergreen forest. In the semi-evergreen forest, you will find evergreen trees as well as deciduous trees. Deciduous, we will discuss deciduous forest. So this evergreen and semi-evergreen forest, they were exploited by the British. British exploited this region. What they did, they wanted lot of timber. Why they needed timber? They wanted to construct the railway, right? They also did lot of deforestation. Why did they do deforestation? Because they wanted to clear the forest for plantation, that is tea and coffee plantation. That is why they did lot of deforestation. So what they did in the Garhwal region, they replaced the oak trees. So it was full of oak trees. They put the pine trees there because they wanted timber for the railway construction, railway base, right? And also they converted lot of forests into plantation, tea and coffee plantations. So this is with respect to the evergreen and semi-evergreen forest. Next we will talk about the tropical deciduous forest. So this is the most widespread forest in India. So this entire region, so tropical deciduous forest, this is the most widespread forest in India. So deciduous forest means what? So it is a monsoon forest. It is based on monsoon. So the rainfall in the deciduous forest, it ranges from 70 centimeter up to 200 centimeter. The rainfall will be there from 70 to 200 centimeter. So this deciduous forest can be divided into two things. One is moist deciduous, other is dry deciduous. Moist deciduous forest, and the second one is dry deciduous forest. So what is so first we will talk about the moist deciduous forest. So here you have 100 to 200 centimeter of rainfall. In the moist deciduous you will have 100 to 200 centimeter of rainfall. Where you will find the moist deciduous? You will find it in the northeastern states. In this region, moist deciduous you will, so moist deciduous is similar to semi-evergreen forest. You will find it in the northeastern states and also eastern slopes of Western Ghats. Not the western slopes, but the eastern slopes. That is the rain shadow area. Rain shadow area you will find the moist deciduous forest. So what are the trees that are grown in the moist deciduous forest? Teak, sal, sisham, mahua, amla, sandalwood. These are the different types of trees that are grown in this region. Next, we will talk about the dry deciduous forest. So, dry deciduous forest, so where the rainfall is between 70 centimeter to 100 centimeter. This is the most vast forest in India. Dry deciduous is the having the highest area under its growth, right? Dry deciduous forest. So this where do you find this dry deciduous forest? You will find it in the peninsula as well as the Ganga plain. It is full of dry deciduous. So this dry deciduous has a parkland landscape. So what is parkland landscape? So you will have lot of grass, in between there will be trees. So that is a parkland landscape. So this you will find in the dry deciduous. I will show you how a parkland landscape looks like. Parkland. So this is a parkland landscape, very small. So this is a parkland. So there will be lot of grass, in between you will find the trees. So the dry deciduous is having this type of forest, right? So where do you find it? You will find it in the Ganga plains as well as the peninsular region. So in the dry season, in the dry deciduous forest, in the dry season, the trees are going to shed their leaves. In the evergreen forest, they won't shed their leaves, whereas in the dry deciduous, they will shed their trees and they will become naked. The trees will be without the leaves. They will be naked. So what are the trees that are found in the dry deciduous forest? You will find tendu, palas, bale and care. So these are the tendu, palas, bale and care are the trees you will find in the dry deciduous forest. Next is the tropical thorn forest. Tropical thorn forest. Where do you find the tropical thorn forest? In those areas where there is less than 50 centimeter of rainfall. Less than 50 centimeter of rainfall, you will find the tropical thorn forest. So what do you find? What is the vegetation? Natural vegetation in this region? You will find grasses and shrubs. Certain types of grasses and shrubs you will find there. So this region is either arid or semi-arid. Arid is dryness, very hot region, right? So what are the tropical thorn forest? Where all you find it in India? You will find it in Punjab, Haryana and Rajasthan region. So there you will have, so the plants in this region will be leafless. They won't be having any leaf, and you will find scrub vegetation. A type of vegetation called scrub vegetation. You will find it here. So what are the trees in this region? So you will find babul tree, bear, neem, kejri tree, date palm dates, and also tussocky grass. One type of special grass called tussocky grass. So I will show you what is a scrub vegetation or a arid vegetation. scrub vegetation. So this is a scrub vegetation in the deserts. So you will find in the deserts this type of vegetation, scrub vegetation, right? Okay. So next we will talk about the montane forest. Montane forest, whenever you hear the term mountain, just remember it is something related to mountains, higher reaches of the mountains where there is very cold weather. So montane forest, the temperature is very low. So this is divided into North mountain forest, not mountain forest, montane forest. So this is divided into North mountain forest and South mountain forest. So this in the mountain forest, the type of trees that are grown changes with the altitude. So at the lower altitude, if you find some one kind of trees, at the higher altitude, you will find different kind of vegetation. Right? At the foothills, at the bottom level of the mountain, you will find deciduous forest. But at the higher level, that is at the higher level, you will find evergreen broadleaf trees. Broadleaf trees, that is the leaf of the trees will be very broad. That we will find in the higher reaches. Lower reaches, deciduous, that is lower mountain. At the foothills, at the higher reaches, you will find the evergreen broadleaf trees. So what are the type of trees you will find here? You will find oak tree, chestnut tree, chirpine, deodar, and also if the weather is too cold, if it is tundra type, you will find mosses and lichens. Mosses and lichens are also found here. So this is at the montane forest, but at those regions where it is too cold, like tundra type, you will find mosses and lichens. Not only that, at that level you will find alpine type of forest. Alpine, so in those region, in the alpine region, you will find rhododendron, juniper and pine at the highest level, alpine forest. So I will show you what does the alpine forest looks like. So this is how a alpine forest looks like. So this is alpine forest. So this you will find at you will find this type of forest at the highest level, where the top level of the mountain. So in this mountain forest, you will find transhumans. Transhumans. So what is transhumans? So what happens in these areas where in the mountain forest, what happens during the winter season, the mountain will be having lot of ice. So no humans can survive there. What they will do during the winter season, if this is a mountain, people will come down the mountain and settle here, right, during the winter. But during the summer, all the ice will melt and grasses will be high. So what happens during summer, they will go up and they will go up with their cattle, sheep, everything. They will leave them to graze. So they will eat sufficient food, and as the winter sets in, they will come down. This is transhumans. Humans will be transporting from one place to other place. So with respect to transhumans in the mountain forest, there are certain communities. You have Gujjars, you have Bakarwalas, you have Bhotiyas and Gaddis. So Gujjars, Bakarwalas, Bhotiyas and Gaddis are the people, right? So this is with respect to North mountain forest, that is in the Himalayan region. Next you have South mountain forest. South mountain forest in the Western Ghats region. So in the Western Ghats, Vindhyas and Nilgiris, you will find the South mountain forest. So here this South mountain forest can be divided into two types. One is temperate as well as subtropical. Where the temperature is low, there you can find the temperate forest. Where the temperature is little bit high, there you will find the subtropical type of forest. So in the temperate forest, you have one special type of vegetation. So it is called as shola vegetation. In the temperate forest, where do you find the shola vegetation? In the Anaimalai hills, in the Nilgiri hills, you will find the shola type of vegetation. So I will show you what does a shola. So it is in the southern mountain forest, on the mountains, on the higher levels of mountain. Shola forest. 1 second. So this is a shola forest. This type of forest is shola grassland and forest. So you will find it in the so this is shola forest where the grass is there, right? So actually there is no grass. When the grass comes, there will be proper shola forest, right? So the next, this is about the mountain forest. So next we will talk about the littoral and swamp forest. So littoral and swamp forest, it is a kind of wetland habitat. Littoral and swamp forest. So this is littoral and swamp forest. This is littoral where there is water as well as vegetation. This is the littoral and swamp forest we were talking about. Like this, the backwaters everywhere. This is littoral and swamp forest. Right? So here it is a wetland habitat. I have already told you what is a wetland. Wetland is a place during the dry season, the water level will not cross 6 meter. That is a wetland. So this littoral and swamp forest is having a wetland type of landscape. So 70%. So 70% of the wetland in India is under rice cultivation. That is, if you see the rice field will be filled with water, right? So it is having lot of water. So it will be filled with water. That is a wetland where you will find vegetation also, where you will find water also. So the biggest wetland is our rice field, where we will flood the rice field with the water, right? So with respect to wetland conservation, we have one international convention called Ramsar Convention. So in Ramsar Convention, we will protect the wetlands because these wetlands are very, very sensitive. They can be easily damaged, right? So that is why we are protecting the wetlands under Ramsar Convention. Some of the places where we have wetlands is, so you have Bharatpur Lake, you have Chilka Lake, you have Loktak Lake. So all these lakes are the wetlands in India. So in India you have 8 categories of wetlands totally. So the first category you will find in the Deccan Plateau. So in the Deccan Plateau, wherever you have reservoirs and lagoons, the reservoirs built by the dams. So there, wherever you will have the wetland, that is the first category. Then you have saline expanse, wherever you have the mangrove forest, where there is salt water, that is the second type of wetland. Then you have in the freshwater wetland in the northwest and central India, and fourth is the eastern delta wetland. So the deltas of the eastern area, so there you have the eastern delta wetland. The fifth is the Gangetic freshwater marsh, that is freshwater land in the Ganga region, that is the fifth type of wetland. Then you have floodplains of Brahmaputra, wherever Brahmaputra floods, that will also wherever Brahmaputra is flooding, that place will also constitute a wetland. So that is the sixth type of wetland. Then you have the lakes and rivers of the Kashmir and Ladakh. So in the Kashmir you have the Sangpo Lake, Somoriri Lake, Pangengso Lake, Ular Lake, Dal Lake. So all these lakes will constitute the wetland in that particular area. Then you have the mangroves. Mangroves of Andaman and Nicobar, they also constitute a wetland. Totally, there are 8 categories of wetland in India. The mangroves will also constitute a wetland, right? So, next we will talk about the mangroves in India. So, mangroves, they are found in the salt marsh as well as tidal creeks. The swamps, salt marsh and tidal creeks. Without showing the image, it's not possible. So what does the mangrove look like? So it is similar to the littoral forest. So I'll show you. Mangrove forest. So this is a mangrove forest. This type of forest is a mangrove forest. So this is a mangrove forest. So in Sundarbans you will find this type of forest. So mangrove forest. So you will find these mango trees grown in the salt marshes where there is water having lot of salinity. You will find it in tidal creeks. Tidal creeks means what? So it is a type of land where during high tide there will be water, during low tide there won't be water, right? So tidal creeks you will find, and these mangrove trees are called as are salt tolerant species. That is, they grow in sea water. So generally plants won't grow in the sea water. The mangroves will grow in the sea water because they are salt tolerant species. So India, what is the speciality of India with respect to mangroves? India has 7% of the world's mangroves. So if the world has 100% of mangroves, the 7% of the world's mangroves is in India, right? So where do you find the mangroves in India? You will find it in the Andaman and Nicobar, Sundarban, as well as Odisha, in Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, everywhere you will find the mangroves. So this is with respect to the types of vegetation, types of natural vegetation in India. Next, we will talk about the forest cover in India. How much does the forest cover is there? First, we have to discuss what is a forest cover. So, forest cover means as per the revenue record of the government, whatever area is demarcated as a forest cover, that is a forest land. As per the revenue record, whatever area is demarcated as forest is a forest cover, right? So, whereas then there is one more concept called actual forest cover. Forest cover, then is actual forest cover. What is actual forest cover? If there are really trees in that place. See, just because the government demarcates a place as a forest cover, that doesn't mean it is filled with trees. So some forest might be empty also. Actually, in actual forest cover, let's say this is a forest cover as demarcated by the government of Karnataka. So this is forest cover, but let's say there are trees only this much area is filled with trees. This area is empty, right? Actual forest cover is only this much, right? So with respect to forest cover, you have 24% as per the recent India State of Forest report. So India State of Forest report, who releases this report? It is released by the Forest Survey of India. Forest Survey of India releases the India State of Forest report. So the recent report was in 2021, and it is a biennial report. Biennial means once in 2 years. Biannual means twice in a year. Biennial, biannual. Biannual is once in 2 years. Sorry, twice in a year. Biennial means once in 2 years. India State of Forest report is once in 2 years, and it says that. So it says that Lakshadweep is having zero forest cover. Zero forest cover. The highest forest cover is in Andaman and Nicobar. So the forest cover in Andaman and Nicobar is how much? It is 87%. 87% is the forest cover. So they have divided the forest cover in India into 3 types. So certain states are having low forest cover. So low, so the natural vegetation is done. So certain areas is having low forest cover. So 10 to 20% of India is having low forest cover. Then you have medium forest cover. So that is the areas of Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, you have medium forest cover, that is from 20 to 40%, not Karnataka, the Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, everything. So 20 to 40% is the medium forest cover. Then you have the region of high forest cover. So high forest cover you will find in the northeast region where you have more than 40% of the forest cover, right? So 10 to 20%, 20 to 40%, and more than 40% area in India is under high forest cover, right? So this is with respect to forest cover. Next, we will talk about the forest conservation. So how should be the forest, the various types of forest? I told you 8 types of forest, or 8 types of forest under India. So forest, how it is to be conserved, because forests are having lot of problems. We are undertaking deforestation, right? So there is global warming, climate change, right? So forests are being depleted, forest fire is there, so lot of problems are there. How do you protect the forest? So for that we have a national forest policy, or the forest policy of India. So the first forest policy of India was given in 1952. So 1952 was the first forest policy. Then 1988 they have changed the forest policy. So what is the aim of this forest policy? It aims to bring 33% of the area. Today it is 24%. It aims to bring 33% of the area under forest cover, right? And also it says that in increasing the forest cover, in planting more and more trees, we should ensure environmental stability by restoring the forest or planting more and more trees. And also the forest policy say we have to conserve the biodiversity and genetic pool. Biodiversity I have discussed. Genetic pool means in a same species if there are multiple genes, everything should be conserved as said by the forest policy of India. They say that with the increasing forest policy, we have to achieve the aims of checking soil erosion. See, if the forest is high, the soil erosion will be very low. So that will be checked. Then also with increasing forest cover, we will prevent desertification. That is the area places becoming deserts, that can be prevented by increasing the forest cover. And also floods and droughts, that is increasing floods and droughts can also be tamed by increasing the forest cover, right? And also the forest policy says that we have to undertake social forestry and afforestation. Social forestry should be undertaken, and also afforestation should be also be undertaken. Then they say that the productivity of forest should be increased. That is we have to instead of cutting wood, we have to find other products where which will have the same utility as the wood. That is, wood has to be substituted, right? Then it says that to achieve all this, there should be people's movement, there should be a mass movement. They also say the forest policy also highlights the role of tribals in the conservation of forest. It says that the tribal forest is the home of the tribals. So it is the home of the tribals. The tribals' livelihood is dependent on the forest, right? So for example, if India has 700 odd districts, approximately 188 districts in India are tribal districts. So tribals have, especially when you look at the tribal areas or the tribal districts, it has high forest cover. Forest cover will be very high in the tribal areas, right? So they say that tribals are good at conserving the forest. They do good conservation work. So that is why they say that they should be treated as stakeholders. They should be treated as partners in producing more and more minor forest produce. So you have this concept of minor forest produce. So your bamboo, honey, wax, all these things All these things are minor forest produce. The tribals can be encouraged to produce more and more minor forest producers, right? Then we have the concept of social forestry. So social forestry means afforestation on barren land. If there is a kali land or empty land or barren land, if you do the afforestation there, so then it qualifies to be called as a social forestry. In social forestry, not only you grow the forest, rather than you will protect the forest, you will manage the forest. That is the concept of social forestry, right? So the National Commission of Agriculture, there was a National Commission of Agriculture. It categorized the social forestry into three categories. The first category is urban social forestry. Second category is rural social forestry, and third is farm forestry. So what is urban social forestry? In the urban areas, if you grow the forest in the urban areas, on both private and public land. In urban areas, both private and public land, if you grow the trees, so that is around the road, that is along the fields, if you grow the trees in the urban area, it is called as the urban social forestry. Then rural social forestry, you have agroforestry and community forestry. What is agroforestry? Trees and agricultural crops, if they are grown on the same land. So same land is there, one plot is there. In that plot you will grow both trees, and you will grow the trees as well as agricultural crops. That is agro-social forestry. Then you have community forestry. In community forestry, you will have public and community land. You will grow the crops on the public land or community land, empty lands. Then you have the concept of farm forestry. So what do you mean by farm forestry? So in the farm, agricultural farm, what you will do? You will plant trees for both commercial and non-commercial purposes. On the agriculture land, if you plant the trees for both commercial and non-commercial purposes, then it is farm forestry. So farm forestry is encouraged by the India's Forest Department. What they do? They will give you seedlings. You free seedlings, you can just put the seedlings and grow the forest and later sell the trees, right? This is about the social forestry concept in India. Then we will talk about the wildlife in India. Wildlife. So what is how is the wildlife in India? So the up to 4 to 5% of the world's animals and plants are located in India. 4 to 5% of the world's animals and plants are located in India. So India has a great ecosystem diversity. So we have hottest of the hotspot, Western Ghats and North Himalayas. Hottest of the hotspots. We have many hotspots. We have natural heritage sites. So India has a very rich ecosystem diversity. So but this diversity is declining. Why is it declining? Because of human intervention. So because of human intervention, many species have gone extinct. Also many species have gone extinct because of hunting, forest fire, right? Exploitation, trade, illegal trade in animals. All these things you will find the exploitation of the wildlife, that is plants and animals, right? So how is the conservation, how wildlife is conserved in India? So we are conserving wildlife in India according to 1972 Wildlife Act. There is a Wildlife Act passed during the tenure of Indira Gandhi in 1972, Wildlife Protection Act. So what does this Wildlife Protection Act do? It gives protection to endangered species. So I have told you, as per the IUCN, we have certain endangered species. So those endangered species are given protection under the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Not only that, this Wildlife Protection Act provides legal support to national parks and wildlife sanctuaries. So you have multiple national parks and wildlife sanctuaries. By what it is protected? it is protected by the Wildlife Protection Act, right? So India, you have totally 103 national parks and 535 wildlife sanctuaries. So this is old data. You just please check out what is the number of national parks and wildlife sanctuaries in India. National parks and number of national parks and wildlife sanctuaries. So totally there are 106 national parks in India and number of wildlife sanctuaries in India. So totally there are 553 wildlife sanctuaries in India, 106 national parks and 553 wildlife sanctuary in India. So with respect to protecting the wildlife sanctuary or the protecting the biodiversity, we have UNESCO Man and Biosphere Program, UNESCO MAB program, Man and Biosphere Program. We have approximately 18 biosphere reserves in India, out of which 12 biosphere reserves are qualified under UNESCO Man and Biosphere Program. So what are the biosphere reserves in India? So these are the biosphere. So the first biosphere reserve in India is Nilgiris. Nilgiris is the first biosphere reserve. So it is where it is in the Wayanad, Nagarhole, Bandipur region. That is where the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve is. Then you have Nanda Devi Biosphere Reserve. Where is it? It is in the Uttarakhand, Almora, Pithogar, Charmoli district of Uttarakhand. Then you have Nokrek. Nokrek is in Meghalaya. Meghalaya Biosphere Reserve. So whatever is marked in dark, they are biosphere reserves in India, totally 18. But whatever is marked in dark and tick, they are qualified under UNESCO. UNESCO, there are 12 biosphere reserves, but in India there are totally 18, right? Manas, you will find Manas in the Assam region. So that is a biosphere reserve. Sundarban in West Bengal. Then Gulf of Mannar in Tamil Nadu, near Kanyakumari. There you will find one biosphere reserve. Great Nicobar in the Nicobar region. There is one Similipal in the Odisha district. That is also one biosphere reserve. So till here all of these are qualified under the UNESCO list. Dibru Saikova, it is not under UNESCO. It is in Assam. Dehang Debang, it is in Arunachal Pradesh. That is also not under the UNESCO list. Then you have Pachmari Biosphere Reserve. So Pachmari is in Madhya Pradesh. It is also under UNESCO reserve. Then you have Kanchenjunga. It is in Sikkim. So it is also under UNESCO Biosphere list. Then Agastya Malai in Kerala. So it is in Kerala. It is in the tri-junction. It is in the bijunction of the Tamil Nadu and Kerala. That is also under UNESCO Biosphere list. Then you have Ashnamkar Amarkantak. It is in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. That is also under UNESCO. Kutch, that is in Gujarat, that is not under UNESCO, that is not there. Cold desert in Ladakh, that is also a biosphere reserve, but it is not under. So sorry, cold desert it is in Himachal Pradesh. Pin Valley National Park in the Himachal Pradesh, that is not under UNESCO. Then you have Seshachalam in Andhra Pradesh, that is also a biosphere reserve, but it is not under UNESCO. Then you have Panna. Panna is in Madhya Pradesh, but that is under the UNESCO list, right? So not only this, we have Project Tiger and Project Elephant as well to protect the so Project Tiger, we started it in 1973. Why Project Tiger? To maintain, to increase the number of tigers. Totally in India today we have more than 45 tiger reserves across 17 states, right? So now approximately the number of tigers is approximately closing by 3000. So it is around 2800 or something. Then you have Project Elephant 1992. So there they try to protect the habitats of the elephants. Where the elephants move, that habitat is proposed to be conserved. So it is implemented in 17 states, Project Elephant, right? So not only that, we have crocodile breeding project, hangul breeding project, musk deer breeding projects. All the projects are there in India. Then you have with respect to biosphere reserves. So this any biosphere reserve you take, it is divided into three regions. So core region, buffer region, as well as transition zone. So these are the three regions. Core. So if this is a biosphere reserve, so at the middle you have core region, around the core region you have buffer region. So this is a transition zone. So this is normal area, this is biosphere reserve, this constitutes this is core, this is buffer, this is the transition zone. These are the three zones of the biosphere reserve. So biosphere reserves can be both terrestrial and coastal. Terrestrial you have the Pachmari or the Panna, whereas the coastal you have the Gulf of Mannar or the Great Nicobar Biosphere Reserve. So what are the objectives? There are three objectives of forming a biosphere reserve. The first objective is conservation. Conservation of various species is the first objective. Then is development, economic development or sustainable development is the second objective. Third is the logistics or the research is the third objective of the biosphere reserve, right? So with respect to biosphere reserves, this is all about it. The first biosphere is the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. There you will find the Nilgiri tar and lion-tailed macaque species. So this is all about the biosphere reserves in India. Tomorrow we will take up the soils, various types of soils in India, and also natural disasters. That will complete your India physical geography. Later on, day after, we will start the human geography, world human geography and India human geography. So if you have any doubts, please put it in the comment section, or you can reach us through our Telegram channel, VHS Education Forum, for any guidance, any queries, any comments, suggestions, anything you want to share with us. Please text us on our Telegram channel, VHS Education Forum, right? Please take good care of your health. Please make good use of the classes, both veterans and freshers. Veterans can use this as a revision program. Freshers can use this as a program to gain gist of the various concepts, right? So take care of your health. We'll meet tomorrow. Take care. Jai Hind. Namaste.